Chapter 15. Unexpected. Nothing lasts forever. Not even the gods. They too are forgotten. Heliocario, the Trudite, the Jade Oracle.
Snow, snow, snow. Nothing but snow in these latitudes. A huge curtain, a merciless white wall. The blizzard struck furiously from all directions. It was like a blind fighter wildly lashing out against his opponent, hoping to deliver a lucky blow. In this case, the opponent's legs trudged laboriously through knee-deep snow. The jagged cold stung his flesh as punishment for each new step. An unarmed opponent, helpless before the titanic power of his relentless foe. Whatever the season, it is always winter in the northernmost reaches of the Icta. This is the realm of Valhind, the White Desert, where the fields are forever blanketed in mother of pearl, subduing the might of Yelm before it. It is the heart of winter, and seldom does anyone dare to challenge winter in its own domain. A warm glow radiated from the pile of logs smoldering in the fireplace. A steady hand plunged the cold iron of the poker into the slumbering embers, stirring them to reinvigorate the flames that had previously been neglected. Soon, the fire was as lively as it should be, and the steel rod was withdrawn. From inside the rustic log cabin, the driving snow outside could be seen lashing the heavily barred windows. When the storm raged on days like this, the whole house seemed to tremble, with loud thumps and eerie creaking noises vibrating from every corner. Surrounded by miles of barren snowfields, it was easy to get a little nervous at the storm howling outside. But Ishmant was used to it by now. As the only intelligent creature to inhabit the northernmost areas of such inhospitable lands, he had accustomed his mind to be unmoved by such sounds. Indeed, he had come to regard them as the discordant notes of nature's fury, as if to prove that it was alive, even in this barren land. On such evenings, when the darkened sky hid the light of the suns, he would boil water to brew a cup of Kiowan herbs and devote the hours that followed to good quiet reading. The steam from the boiling water began to make the kettle whistle. The sound distracted his gaze for a moment from the misted-up windows and the dreary sight it presented, pulling the earthenware bowl away from the eager embrace of the flames. Ishmant poured its boiling contents into the cup that held the Kiowan's bitter herb mixture. There were some customs he would never forsake. One of them was to savor this intense brew. It took him back to his origins, to the temples of his first initiation. It had been a long time since those vague and distant memories. The penetrating sips of the bitter broth brought back fleeting nostalgia for the past. To a time when he had contact with other people and was a student with 1,000 things to learn and discover. Meanwhile, in the here and now, time passed slowly. Outside the storm raged. A multitude of sounds, like the scurrying of 1,000 tiny legs, plagued the storm-besieged room. From time to time, a loud thump or thud was enough to break the deepest concentration. He would have to start the same paragraph for the 3rd time. Ishmant sighed. Gardius's mystical verses did not have the same magnetism and depth if they were accompanied by constant interruptions. He tried to start the same paragraph for a 4th time, but a loud knocking sound distracted him again. It looked like reading would be an unattainable pleasure today. Ishmant closed the thick, worn pages of the old philosopher's Meditations, slamming the book shut with frustration. He would have to find another way to occupy the remaining hours until the storm was over. The sound returned, causing him to sigh with irritation. But this time he was aware of something that might have gone unnoticed before. It was a series of dull, rhythmic thumps and pum, 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 pum. He craned his neck and looked with furrowed eyebrows in the direction from which the knocking sound was undoubtedly coming. Someone was knocking at his door. His dormant warrior instinct, inactive for centuries, began to awaken like the cogs of an old machine. Who could be on the other side of the door? He thought to himself. 1,000 hypotheses ran through his mind, each more disconcerting than the last. This was unheard of. Who could have come here, to this frozen, inhospitable place, hidden in the middle of nowhere?
He has come,
Ishant said to himself, dropping the book he was holding. A memory.
Hide far away, my friend. I will be able to find you, even if you flee to the pit of Sonya itself.
Something stirred in Ishmant's soul. Something was extinguished in that moment of doubt, reviving an old feeling that had almost been banished and withered during all these years of exile. Pum! 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 Again the knocking on the door. But now they were fading. The strength of the visitor on the other side was weakening.
He has found me, only he could have.
His heart beat faster, but Ishmant used his inner strength to calm himself. He had prepared himself for this moment. The wooden bar securing the door fell to the ground with a heavy thud. The hinges gave a faint creak that was quickly drowned out by the fury of the storm, just like the sweet sound of a flute in the noise of battle. The door opened wide. Like an unseen assailant, a mighty onslaught of wind and snow swept into the room. The blast of freezing air caused the fire to flicker wildly. Objects clattered to the floor. What little warmth there was in the dwelling quickly dissipated. Ishmant shivered in the bitter cold. In front of him, shrouded in the ghostly veil of snow and ice whipped up by the howling storm, a colossal figure loomed in the frame of the doorway. A long, dark hood obscured his face.
Ishmant,
the figure said in a croaking voice, exhausted and withered.
I knew it.